Hi guys, so we are here with Nora. I'm going to have her introduce herself and her film, and then we will get on with a couple of questions.
My name is Nora Jaenickie, and I'm the writer-director of ISOLA. And it's a story about a woman in her 40s who's stuck on an island, volcanic island, with her paralyzed husband. She hires a caretaker to take care of her husband, and then these two women sort of enter this dangerous psychological cat and mouse game, which ends up helping the protagonist, Joanna, really find out who she is and breaks that have been pulling her down and limiting her growth.
And what was the inspiration?
I think everything that we write comes from somewhere. Probably also, there's probably also obviously biographical elements in everything we write. Everything that's fiction has some truth in it. I am drawn to psychological stories. I'm interested in the psychology of female characters. I like to write about women. And my stories tend to be contained, maybe because I also always keep the budget in mind. And so many shorts that I've made are very contained psychological stories. It's cheaper to make films that way, one location sort of stories. But I'm also seeing confinements as an opportunity to expand in a way. Like you need limits to get creative. Hunger makes the good cook in a way. So this story came to be mostly, I started with the two women. I started with like getting to know these two women and playing around with them. And then I think the themes of female empowerment are just, those are my themes. I'm fond of those themes. And then I was also interested in what happens when people are sort of in a situation where at their limit. It's informed probably by movies that I like, books that I've read. I like Patricia Highsmith. Talented Mr. Ripley is one of my favorite movies. After writing the script, during a reading that I organized amongst writer friends, they mentioned I should watch Rebecca by Hitchcock, and then when I watched it, I also saw some elements there. So yeah, where did it come from? I don't know. Where do ideas come from?
Right, imagination.
There's the imagination that's, there has definitely some biographical elements all the time, but it's also like everything that's ever touched you in your life somehow informs your art. And also some of the women maybe in my own family, this idea of the female condition, I mean, throughout history, feeling like trapped, like constantly trying to adapt and trying to survive in this environment of confinement. And I was interested in telling a story about a woman who was able to transcend that. And so that's something that I find in my mom's biography and my grandmother's biography, that this element of being somehow, yeah, like trapped. And it's coming back. I mean, they're trying to trap us again. We thought we had a moment of freedom there, and here we go. Yeah, we're supposed to have babies and be at home.
But you're not doing
No,
this,
well,
obviously.
no. I'm taking my little girl with me.
Yeah, that's how it should be. So what about that? Like just the elements of being a mother of a young child, and then having to move forward in your craft and do things like traveling to film festivals and promoting your work. How do you juggle that? If, like, for example, if you say there's another young filmmaker out there and they have a young child, or they're pregnant, or they are planning on having a child, do you have any words of wisdom or suggestions or advice to encourage a young female filmmaker or aspiring filmmaker to help navigate that?
I think everyone should choose how they wish to approach it. I mean, maybe some women would then not go to festivals and stay at home with the child. I personally, my parenting style is, more, I take her with me because I feel that, as long as she feels safe with me all the time, then no matter where she is, she has her harbor, she has her anchor. I think that making a film is a little like having a baby. It's a creative baby, and sometimes somehow the fact that I became a mom shortly after finishing my first feature film. I somehow stayed in that troubleshooting modus where I'm constantly trying to shut down fires, and there's always something unexpected happening. It's a little like working on set. Just never know what happens. There's so many things that you need to control, and it's a little like I never got out of that mode of multitasking. So in a way, making my feature before becoming a mom prepared me to be a mom. But I'm on my own, so it's easier to for me. I can be very flexible, and the filmmaking world. I mean, it's a big village. It takes a village to make a film, and it also makes it easier for me to find that village that it takes being in the industry, because people everywhere and everyone's a freelancer, so they're flexible and they can help out. And I think if I was in a 9 to 5, living in one town or city, I think it would be impossible to do that. So in a way, being in the arts and being free like this and independent like this makes it easier. In my case, it's easier because we are very flexible. And I think she's a girl, and I think having a mom who makes films, it's there's some interesting worlds there to explore. So I think ultimately it will be an enrichment. And growing up between many places, I sometimes worry, is this going to be too much? Is it her being German Italian, then living in the US half the year? Is this too many cultural identities, too many languages? But I think ultimately it will be an enrichment, like it was for me. It's there was times where I was really questioning who I am and where do I belong. But then I think on the long run, it's a gift to be at home in many places and to know how many ways there are of being in this world, that there isn't just one way, but there's many, many, many perspectives, many cultures, many ways of living life.
I am an avid traveler and an avid advocate of getting out there and seeing the world,
Just
exploring,
opens your mind.
getting to know different cultures and
learning through experience, never like learning through like a book or
film
or a film even. Yeah, but again, that's also why I love films, because they really do take you, they expand your empathy, they help you step into another person's perspective. Those are things that are so important and are becoming more and more important given the current situation that we're in the world right now.
So how was your experience? I'm sure you've been to other film festivals. And what has your experience been like with the Sedona Film Festival and coming to Sedona? Like, what's your experience been here?
It's, first of all, thank you so much for selecting the film. I was so thrilled when I read the email that we've been selected. And it was interesting because, it's the audience. It's like every festival has its own audience. And it seems like here there is not too many cultural events happening. So I feel like this festival is really drawing so many people to the theater that are normally not exposed to these kinds of stories and these kinds of films. And I think that's so interesting to have a festival in a place like this, and to bring these stories to places like this. And I think
we're going to be careful.
We took care, they took care of us in such a beautiful way. There's food and I love meeting all these interesting filmmakers. Some of them I knew already. They came to the writing lab that I organize in Italy 4 times a year, the Nostro screenwriting retreat. So if anyone needs to develop their story, their script, we run a screenwriting retreat in Italy 4 times of the year. We have producers come in, we have pitching experts come in, help the filmmakers learn how to pitch and then pitch these scripts to producers. So it's been great for me to meet so many of the Nostos alumni here, meet them again after they came to Italy to work on their screenplays. And also, the hotel we're staying at is wonderful. The quality of the films is very high. And what I enjoy is also like the dinners where you have these amazing conversations about the stories behind these stories that you get to see. It's really, every time I come to a festival like this, I'm reminded why I'm doing what I'm doing, and how important it is to me.
Have you had a chance to explore it all?
Not so much, because with the little girl all the time, but I was able to watch these extra films and meet some really interesting people.
That's good. That's good. Is there any last thing that you would like to share with our audience?
Well, I'd like to help all the people that thank all the people who helped make the film. Of course, the amazing actors that I got the luck to work with, but also my producer Manish Mundra and the whole team at Drishan Films, Elio Film, Gimascolo and Audience Damzi, and everyone who helped, tell the story, bring it to the big screen. Yeah, I'm just so lucky that this ended up happening. Every indie film when it ends up getting made is a miracle, and I am so happy that now we are starting to show the film, and I'm getting reactions like the audience. I gotten so many, interesting feedback, and people really enjoyed it, and they gave me the confidence and energy to keep going. So thank you to the audience, thank you to everyone who helped make this film. And the festival, of course, the Sedona Film Festival. Thank you so much for screening the film.
Well, it was a pleasure to meet you,
Yes.
and thank you for taking some time out of your day.
Thank you.
And it's a pleasure.
Thank you so much. Thank you.